This is episode 255. You awesome, sick, twisted mother flowers out there. It is Friday, August 24th, 2018. Summer is literally almost over, and I'm about to sing that song when September hits. Wake me up when September ends. I literally am. For me, the end of the summer has always been like the end of the year. But that's beside the point, mother flower. Thank you all for tuning in live each and every single week. You mother flowers are fucking awesome. If you're not catching this show live, it's okay. We are available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, PODBEAN, and as well over at Spotify for you guys to listen and download on the fucking go throughout this awesome week. I am not alone, though. I am joined here by two awesome, sick, twisted mother flowers as well. All the way from Detroit, Big Mike from the Big Mike Wrestling Recap Show. Big Mike, how the fuck you been, mother flower?
I've been doing all right, Steve, and I'm shocked that you brought the old intro back. I was digging the hip-hop instruments.
Well, you know what? I'm tired of getting, fucking emails from YouTube, copyright claims and shit like that, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, we're bringing back the old theme song. We're trying to get a new one soon, so hopefully it'll be back in the works. But how you been, though, bro? How's your week been?
It's been all right. A lot of wrestling stuff from the past weekend, SummerSlam, Raw, SmackDown, all that stuff, man. Just trying to recuperate that, but everything's been great.
I feel you, bro. Like, again, I had a crazy week, as you know. I was actually in Brooklyn for SummerSlam weekend. Only went for one day, though. Went to take over Brooklyn 4. And my, oh my, what a show it was. What a show it was. I also went to the Bruce Pritchard Something to Wrestle with live in New York City, who I know someone who's looking forward to going, I believe, in a couple of months in Boston. He's literally here right now. He's literally everywhere. Literally. YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, PodBean, Spotify, the Fight Network, Fight TV, with the OK Fabe Show. Also the host of the Random Wrestling Podcast. You can also catch him on Out of Nowhere with Joe Cronin, the one, the only, OK Fabe. Connor, how the fuck you been, mother flower?
I love how you say mother flower and then you just like, how the fuck you been? Like, it's just, I feel like you should have censored the other way around, but it's all right. What's going on? I am exhausted, as it is the life of a content creator, and this is the best porn music intro I've ever been associated with, so I'm very proud of that.
I know. So
it does. It feels like it's that scene where the delivery guy finally arrives and says, "What type of pizza did you order? Did you order the extra sausage
or pepperoni?" Pepperoni.
I mean, sausage writes itself. There's a hole cut in the middle of the pizza. Things happen. I've seen it before many times.
I believe that you have, man. But it's good to have you back.
Yeah,
it's been a while. It's been a while since you've been here. It's been a while. It's nice to finally have you back. It's been a fucking while, man. Again, you're literally everywhere, man. You've been tearing it up. We're literally, again, you're, like I said, you're everywhere. iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify.
Yes.
The OK Fabe Show on Fight TV.
Yes.
Joe Cronin Out of Nowhere.
Yes.
I guarantee you real soon, bro, you're going to be on freaking Univision. I guarantee you, bro. On Telemundo.
I don't speak Spanish.
That's the point, though. You'll be on Telemundo real soon, bro. Coming soon to Telemundo.
Surprised you didn't get. I was surprised you didn't end up on Telemundo 2 years ago in Dallas.
Nah, I remember that, dude. I remember in Dallas, like the whole time we were both so like sneaking.
Remember that? You were dead set on putting on a Trump wig and showing up there. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No. Remember, like, so in case you guys remember, so 2 years ago, me and Connor and Matt from In the Rope Show went to Dallas for WrestleMania weekend, and an idea that we had, because Matt literally brought like wigs and shit like that, right? Literally the hotel that we stayed in, was literally, we shit you not, right across the Univision headquarters. At the time, Donald Trump, our beloved president Donald Trump, was having issues with Univision. Jorge Ramos, who is a reporter, right? And the idea was that Matt was gonna dress up as Donald Trump and literally invade the Univision headquarters. That was the idea. Imagine if we went through with that idea, bro. Just imagine that.
I wanted nothing to do with it. He was the one that was like dead set on it.
I was with it too, because like
it would have been hilarious.
Exactly, it would have been like DX invading WCW, or
No, it would be extremely different compared to that.
Okay. It would have been like when when Impact Wrestling tried to heckle WWE in their own fucking parking lot, or when WWE came to Orlando. Remember that? And I guess the TNA stars like went over to the WWE set and R-Truth ate their freaking mahi mahi, which was.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, man. And also, literally throughout the show, and I told you guys off the air, I am cleaning out my system. I'm literally have in my hand right now, literally, I kid you not, a 64-ounce bottle of Ocean Spray cranberry juice. If you can if you can put the pieces together, you probably understand why.
I don't want to put the pieces together. I really don't. Because you literally came on like, hey, what's going on? We're going to do the show. Yeah, by the way, I'm cleaning up my system. I'm like, oh, that could be a lot of things. I thought you meant your computer. Apparently, I also thought you meant your colon.
No. So as you guys know, I have two jobs. And my morning job is literally for UPS. And UPS is moving into the airport. And because we're moving into the airport, now we're dealing with Port Authority and TSA. We're doing like all these procedures, like applying for for a Port Authority ID. We're getting fingerprinted, and as well, it's including a drug test. And as you guys know, and I've been saying this for the last couple of months now, I do not watch wrestling sober. I do not. It's hard for me. I'm getting PMs right now like crazy. It's hard for me to sit here to watch professional wrestling sober. It really, really is. Think about this, right? Freaking 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, an hour of NXT. If you really want to throw in their hour 205 Live, you go on ahead, right? And if you really want to go in there as well, I guess add 2 hours of Impact, what have you, and I guess an hour of Ring of Honor. That's like over 10 hours plus of wrestling, for me at least. Okay.
Well, that's why I had to cut back on some of the stuff I was watching.
So it's definitely, and sometimes there's pay-per-views as well. Like New Japan will do like 4 hours, a 4 or 5 hour show. Like you cannot expect me at this point to sit here and watch wrestling sober. I can't. I really can't. And I'm not gonna do alcohol because I'm like, hell no. I'd rather do the marijuana. I'd rather do the bud. It's safer. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's more funnier. It's more funnier when you're high as all shit. Believe me. But when I found that they were getting tested, I'm like, fuck. So I've literally racked up my fridge with literally cranberry juice to clean out my system for this test.
Man, you're gonna be pissing for days.
I hope that's all he does, and I don't want to hear any more details about it if it's otherwise.
Oh, man,
yeah, right.
Like imagine my Raw review. Hey, guy. I'll be right back. I'll pause. Oh, and coming back and shit. Just imagine that. But anywho, guys, there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening this week in the world of wrestling. We'd love to hear your thoughts as well, guys, in the chat. You can also follow this podcast on Twitter at T-Mail Podcast as well. But apparently early in the day, literally minutes before the show went on the air, the big news came out. I want to say per Pro Wrestling Sheet. And it involved former Cruiserweight champion, the man that Creator forgot, the former king of the Cruiserweights. The man they called Neville is no longer under contract with WWE. And as you all know, Neville left WWE over a year or so ago in October 2017. He literally walked out, right? He literally walked out. And this whole time we have not seen him. And there were talks if he was going to come back or not to finish his deal, that WWE froze his contract. And it looked like now, again, per Pro Wrestling Sheet, that he is no longer under contract to WWE. While details are still scarce, a source with direct knowledge of the situation has now confirmed Neville, formerly known as Pac on the independent circuit, also New Japan, is not tied down to a WWE deal as of this moment. No word on when WWE parted ways with the wrestler, therefore it's unclear if he's still under a non-compete clause. It was previously reported that 32-year-old wrestler walked out on WWE in October 2017 and has been radio silent ever since leaving, right, the company. It's crazy, too, because apparently Cody literally tweeted early in the day, like early this week, he tweeted that he missed Neville, right? And as you all know, there's All In coming up. And again, literally All In is like literally a couple days away. And who to say we probably will see It's a possibility. You never know.
He will not be at All In.
Yeah, I don't
There's
think
no
so
way.
either.
As much as I'd love to see him there, because some of the stuff. In fact, I think someone tweeted out like he's gonna win the what do you call it, the over the budget.
Yeah,
Over the budget battle royal. Yeah, I love the name of that, by the way. And then go on to fight Lethal for the Ring of Honor title. Unfortunately, because they are streamlined on main pay-per-view, that ain't happening. I think if they were just Fight TV, and I could be wrong, I don't know the details of the no compete clause. If it was just Fight TV, I think they might have been able to get away with it, but that's not gonna happen. Although they could show him in the crowd.
Probably so.
Yeah.
I mean, to my understanding, All In is going to be is going to be available on Fight TV, and as well as New Japan. Not bad. The Honor Club for Ring of Honor. The two ways right now that I know that you can watch Fight TV, that you can watch All In literally throughout that weekend.
More. You can watch a free hour on if you got WG in America.
I know that, but I'm talking about the actual event, not the
the main show.
Yeah, the main show. To my understanding, is Honor Club and as well as the Fight app.
And hey, I have a great way for people to get bonus credit. Cheap plug.
There you go. Let them know. Let them know, good sir. Let them know.
So if you guys sign up for Fight TV, it is 110% free to sign up for the actual Fight TV app itself. You can download on Android, iOS, anywhere. You can even get it on major streaming devices like an Xbox, a PlayStation, a Roku, a Google, what I don't even know what it's called anymore, Chromecast. I couldn't think of the name of it. Amazon Fire Stick. It is literally everywhere. However, if you guys download it and use my special code, you get a little bit of extra bonus goodie, and you get a little extra bonus credit. You get $15 in Fight TV credit when you sign up, but if you use this, you get an additional $5 credit if you use the promo or use the code. And you're ready for this? It's a weird one. G as in goat, D as in David, L as in Lloyd, L as in Lloyd, Y as in yo-yo, D as in dog, 6. And you get some extra Fight TV credit. So it's GDLLYD6, and you get extra Fight TV credit for you guys to put towards All In, because if you do that, that makes it cut in half. You basically get the pay-per-view for $20.
Indeed. There you guys go. Go jump on it now. Or else
and while you're there, check out the OKFabe show, 100% free, only on Fight TV.
Exactly. But by the way, episodes, I believe you're at episode 6, right? It's episode 6 now,
yeah.
Right?
I just dropped it this it just dropped this evening as of 8 p.m. this evening, and I completely reformatted the show, both physically, visually, but also format-wise. So it's a completely different show compared to the first 5, which I'm really happy about.
And you got a hotline too, bro. People can call in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people can call in and have their voice be heard on the show, which is really cool.
There you go. That's awesome, dude. So proud of you, man. So happy for you, man. Really, really am. But as far as Neville goes, like, listen, I think this was like anyone saw this coming. I think all of us did. Like, yeah, he was done. If you think about it, it's really. I don't want to sit here and be like it's a shame. Like, yeah, the guy could have been used more. Prior to him being the king of the cruiserweights. Like, I always remember, besides his NXT stuff, like, yeah, we can sit here and say, oh, the NXT stuff, the stuff for NXT was amazing. All you want, right? The match with Tyson Kidd at the first takeover that he did. My bad. That was the second takeover. Because the first takeover, it was him and Bo Dallas in that ladder match, right? That was the first takeover that they did at Full Sail. But again, he did stuff with Tyson Kidd, his matches with Sami Zayn, his stuff on the main roster. Really, again, it just didn't shine. I guess if anything, he had that match with Rollins for the championship, and everyone thought that the freaking Neville was gonna win, and it just never came to be. But after that, it's just like he just became just like an afterthought, right? Hence why people gave him the name, the man that creator forgot, until they really brought back this cruiserweight division and 205 Live, and that's really where I guess he had like a second chance at life here. You know what I mean? He became the king of the cruiserweights, and it was probably one of the best Neville that we've seen. But again, it's just one of those things where we knew that this guy could have done way much more than just be a cruiserweight guy or be just relegated to cruiserweight. It's a shame. Total shame.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to add to this, Mike?
Yeah. I always like Neville. First match that I seen is I believe it was him and Sami Zayn for the title. That was the same night that Kevin Owens debuted as well, if I'm correct. Anybody can vouch for me on that.
I believe so. Cause remember, they had like numerous matches, so I believe so. Yes, in NXT.
Yeah, so the one that KO debuted for the first time, that's the first time I ever seen Neville fight. And it's a shame, man. Endless talent. He was getting pretty much his character development on with the King of the Cruiserweights until the whole Enzo thing happened, and then that's what forced him out. And it's a shame. Yeah, so him putting over Enzo and him wanting more, and that's just the way it is.
Exactly. What about you, Connor? Anything you want to add to this whole thoughts on Neville? And
I mean, there was a little bit of like rumblings about this. I think like a month or two ago that like, oh, maybe they might work something out, and I had heard something along the lines of they were looking to bring in Neville to the NXT UK brand because they wanted to have star power and bring in someone who has the experience and the name recognition at the time, and it would be a great way to patch things up with Neville. He wouldn't be on the road as badly as, you know, compared to the States. And I guess that was kind of like one of the things they were working on, but it just fell through, obviously. I think that Neville is a prime example of whenever, and I hate to say this because there have been guys who have been signed by the Indies who have gone to WWE and made tremendous success, but he's another example of when WWE signs an independent star where I get a little nervous. And I'm not so much talking NXT. Obviously, NXT, they thrive there, but it's another situation where, like, he went to WWE, he never quite, like, you know, Mike was just saying, never quite hit his full potential. And it's the same, unfortunately, I feel like it's the same story we hear all the time. They go to NXT, they do great, they're over like an MFer, and then they go to the main roster, and it's like, meh.
Yeah.
So it's bittersweet.
exactly. And again, we go back to what we're saying, like you wish, again, things were different with him because again, you look at someone like Neville. I'll say this: I feel like he would have been a great Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, I feel like when you look at someone like him, yeah, granted, you know, not the world champion. I feel like that would have been a reach. Again, anything can happen. We get that. But I look at someone like Pac, Neville, whatever you want to call him now, right? He's someone that I would put the Intercontinental title on. Read the comments here. Pac versus X-Pac by OKFabe. The Extreme MW right here. Honestly, Pac should just go with Impact, continue his feud with Aries with a main event pedestal.
If they bring him into if they bring him to Impact, that's going to be a huge coup for them.
Exactly,
yeah, I would love to see that.
And again, there's even talks of Impact Wrestling going back to the UK.
Good,
again,
they should.
They should. Speaking of which, again, Impact is actually going to Mexico, which we'll get into just a little bit, which is good for them as well. But again, with Neville, now the door's open. The door is now open for him to go anywhere and make a living. Or
well,
again, we don't even know. Again, this whole 90-day no compete clause, we get that. But once this is done, like, you know for a fact, like, yo, he's gonna just tear it up on the independent store. He's gonna tear it up, whether he goes to, let's say, Impact Wrestling or Ring of Honor or New Japan. I say you probably go back to New Japan. If anything,
if he was smart, I think that if Neville was really to get his name out there, he would work on the indies in the UK scene because the indie UK scene is thriving right now.
Yes, it is.
It's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons why WWE did is doing an NXT UK brand because the UK scene is thriving with independent promoters and independent promotions. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Neville do that for 90 days, and then that brings us to what, like 2019. Yeah. 2019, we'll see him sign with either ROH, New Japan, or Impact, guaranteed.
Or just imagine this, right? Imagine in 2019, because again, it's 90 days, right? It's 2019. He showed up at the MSG show for Ring of Honor, New Japan.
That'll be huge too.
That'll be insane.
I've been trying to get. I tried to get a ticket for that, and unfortunately, those things sold out so damn fast.
StubHub, bro. StubHub on the flower. I'm waiting. I'm waiting though. I'm waiting. I ain't gonna lie though. A part of me honestly wants to go to Bound for Glory. I'm trying to get.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, to be honest. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, folks.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm gonna have to wait though because I have to pay some stuff off right now. So yeah. I'll wait though. I know StubHub on the flower. StubHub. The same right now. But again, though, I feel like right now the sky's the limit for Neville right now. You know what? When you think about it too, though, if you're someone within the company WWE, and you know for a fact that you're not being utilized to your full potential, and you're disgruntled, look at what people like freaking Kodos is doing now. You know what I mean? The guy took a risk on himself, and he's tearing it up right now. And I guarantee you Neville will follow the same route, and we'll see what happens. But again, like you said, whenever we hear news of them bringing in someone from the independent circuit, yeah, it's great. It's happy. It's great to see them finally on that platform. But at the same time, in the back of your mind, it's like, you just hope and pray that they're utilized properly, And at the same time, the same thing I'm thinking about when I hear the news that, hey, Matt Riddle signed with WWE. You better hope and pray they actually use Matt Riddle to their fullest potential.
I laughed my ass off when they showed him in the crowd. I'm not gonna lie,
dude. It's funny because the picture
he was wearing sandals too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's wearing sandals. He's wearing a suit. He's in a suit, right? He's in a suit wearing a freaking snapback with sandals on, bro. Yeah, bro. Comments here that I'm reading. You guys are kicking ass, by the way, in the comment threads. Dynasty 215 hit Wrestle Kingdom versus Ospreay, calling it now. Oh my God! Imagine that. Will Ospreay versus Neville for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Keep this in mind. Speaking of which, New Japan has officially stripped Hiromu Takahashi of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. So it's gonna be up. Yeah. So just imagine that. So apparently they're gonna do it. They're gonna do like a mini tournament. It's gonna be Ospreay and freaking Marty Scurll, and they're gonna meet the winner, I believe, of. I'm having a brain fart right now. I want to say it's, again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong here. Guys, correct me in the comment threads if you guys can. I want to say it's Evil versus, my bad, it's Bushi. It's Bushi, and I want to say Kushida. So the winner of those two will meet at the finale at King of Pro Wrestling. So if it's Will Ospreay, because you kind of know it's him right now, because they're milking on Ospreay right now, right, in New Japan. Just imagine that, right? Ospreay versus Neville, or not, my bad, Pac at Wrestle Kingdom.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Or if not, again, even no low risk in the comment there. Imagine Kota Ibushi versus Pac at the ROH New Japan show. Shut up and take my fucking money! Holy crap, yo! Connor, imagine that. Kota Ibushi versus Pac, yo.
The possibilities are endless to see what he could do. And you were talking about this earlier, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the thought and the concept is that you can be extremely successful without going to WWE is a huge statement. And again, we talk about like the UK scene thriving. New Japan's doing probably the best business it's ever done. Ring of Honor is doing great. Impact is doing good stuff. I mean, there's so many platforms now that you can't tell me there's not a good handful of matches that you can put Neville in different situations and he's going to thrive. And it's going to be some great stuff. It's just another shot in the arm for the indie scene.
Exactly, and I have to agree with you on that. I have to agree with you 100% on that, man. But we'll see what happens. Or even Jericho rematch with broken ankle. Yeah, you could do that, I guess. Why not? But we'll see, man. Again, right now, things are just fucking endless right now. I tell you guys what. Tell me, guys, in the chat below, matches that you want to see Pac have on the indie circuit. Whether it be guys that maybe we don't even know about, that we might know about. Like, I'll tell you one that I want to see. Pac versus Joey Janela. That's a match I want to see on the indie circuit. That's one. Again, you can do Kenny Omega. You can do, again, Pentagon. But again, just throw them out there in the comment. We'll read them in a little bit. Moving on here. Speaking of now, I guess, former, what have you. As you all know, WWE in a couple of months, in a month or two, because literally when you think about it right now, right, WWE is hyping up 3 shows and literally right now as we speak. They're hyping up Hell in a Cell. They're hyping up Evolution, and now the Super Show, right? The Super Show in Australia, right? And speaking of Evolution, they're talking about bringing back former Divas champion AJ Lee. Or I'm sorry, women's champion now, AJ Lee. Apparently, I don't know if it's true or not, but from what I'm hearing, Vince has actually reached out to AJ Lee to bring her back for this show. And again, it's 50 women, the then, now, and forever. We don't know exactly the 50 women that they're bringing in. We know Trish is facing Alexa Bliss, a match that honestly I am not for, but they're doing it anyway. There's the idea of them bringing back AJ Lee. You think about it, AJ Lee at the end of the day, was part, if you will. I'm not saying completely, but When you think about what the whole women's evolution, she did have that Twitter exchange with Stephanie regarding women's pay back in 2013, 2014, whenever it was. And people will say that AJ Lee was also part of that whole thing as well with the pipe bomb. And I'll be real about it, you know. I don't know if she's really into wrestling anymore, if her heart's really into it, but I would not mind seeing her back. At least for one night only, if you will.
Depends on the opponent.
Exactly. It had to be like, if anything, I would do AJ versus Sasha.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Or if not, AJ versus Bailey right now. Because you're not gonna do
AJ versus Bailey.
You think about it, I don't know. So or throwaway. You gotta think about this too, right? In NXT, they were close. Well, when Bailey was in NXT, you know, when AJ would go down there to train, whatever, they were close, whatever. So.
No, it just seemed kind of random. I'm not saying I'm against it. It just seems kind of random.
I mean, I could do AJ and Paige. You know what I mean? I could do AJ and Paige again because Paige is hurt. You know what I mean? But if it were in other circumstances, I probably would do it. You know what I mean? But I'd say right now, I would say if anything, I'll do Paige versus I'll do AJ versus Sasha. You know, I wouldn't say Asuka because I feel like that's like right now. What about you guys? What do you guys thought about this?
Mike?
If it's true that they reached out to her, I'm happy that they did. But it's one thing that's stopping her from coming if she do or she doesn't is her husband.
The dick.
Yeah, her husband. And with lawsuits and all that type of stuff and him not liking the WWE and cocaine and all that stuff. It just don't feel like, I don't feel like that she's gonna accept if they extended that off just to, you know, say I'm on my husband's side, I like him very much, he wouldn't like me if I accept, you guys are the enemy, he doesn't like you, all of that stuff. So
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I totally get it. And I agree with you on that too. There's one thing that could probably be keeping her back from doing it, and that's the fact that, hey, you know, CM Punk has got through his lawsuit with WWE, and now he's being sued by his former best friend. You know, and it's like I remember there's a meme that came out like over a year ago when Paige was going through the whole thing with Del Rio, and it was like it's a picture of both AJ and Paige, right? And it said, "When you both love wrestling, but dick is life."
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's like, again, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing it. It'd be great. Again, if you're trying to honor everyone from the women's evolution, what have you, when you think about it, Paige is part of that. She is part of that discussion. She is, you know. But again, it goes back to whether or not if she's willing to do it. I think if it was another circumstances, she probably would do it.
Yeah, but if she does accept and she do it, it will be a small glimmer of hope that her husband will come back. Maybe
I don't know about that, but I think honestly Punk is done. I think Punk is, again, never say never.
Small glimmer. It's not. It's like a small blimp on the radar.
Yeah, I get you on that. I just feel like right now we just never say never. Right now it's this whole thing where let's just assume here for a minute that it does happen. Okay, Punk comes back and yeah, you know. Again, what we learned this far in the world of pro wrestling, expect the unexpected. Am I right? Expect the unexpected. So, fingers crossed. Let's see what fucking happens. Who would just say Punk shows up at All In? You know what I mean? Who would just say Punk shows up at All In?
He's not going to.
Yeah, he's not going to.
Cody confirmed it.
Yeah, you never know.
He said that Matt reached out to Punk and that they like the community, like he just wasn't interested. It wasn't a matter of like money or timing. It was just he wasn't interested. I mean, I get exactly where Steven's coming from in terms of, you know, you never say never, but realistically, I think that if Punk were to really get back into wrestling, I mean, I don't know what his deal is in UFC. I don't know if he's still under contract, if he's completely kaput skis. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's done. I don't know what that deal entails. I'm not sure if he's going to try again in something else, but I think that just from the podcast alone as an experience in pro wrestling the last, 5 years? Because he left in 14, right?
Yeah, it's about to be.
Yeah.
It would be 5 years in January. It would be 5 years officially in January.
Right. So you think like in the last 5 years from when he left, with like the last like tail end year that he was there to when he left to like the lawsuit to the podcast to falling out with Cabana, so much crap from the wrestling world. I mean, I think that he'd have to be very, very careful. I wouldn't be surprised if Punk came back and did like a one-off to see how to test the waters. But as far as like I'm back full time, I don't think that's even remotely a possibility. I think he could show up at certain events, but I mean I know they're doing the Pro Wrestling Tee signing during All In Weekend, but I think as far as him getting back in the ring, we might have to wait some longer time for wounds to heal.
Yeah, I don't even. Even hearing him explaining why he doesn't like the wrestling business now really puts it into your head like he's probably never coming back. Like he went in so much detail in his press run for his UFC fight about how pro wrestling looks and feels and the aura of it now. And he even mentioned Omega and all the stuff that he's doing, but he said it's not for him right now. So I was like, oh, he's never coming back then. Because it's not changing.
Yeah, man. We'll see, man. We'll see what goes down. But as far as AJ Lee's concerned, hey, listen. I know Dave wrote here in the chat the idea of a tag team match of AJ and Caitlyn versus the new female mega powers of AJ and Bailey. If you
honestly, I would put AJ against Caitlyn.
You can do that too. You can do that too. You can do that. We'll see. But again, there's so many things you can do with AJ as well. Let's assume for a minute that it's official, right? Hypothetically speaking, WWE just made a breaking news. AJ Lee will make a return for one night at Evolution, right? Who is real about it? Evolution right now is the new biggest heel in WWE. It really is. Okay, I've been saying this numerous times. To me, Evolution is like whatever. You know what I mean? Let them do the show, get it over with. Whether it fails or succeeds, we'll see what happens. But speaking of women, because again, there's a lot have happened this week in WWE. The big thing that happened on SummerSlam, it was nothing to do with again Roman beating Brock or Joe getting his ass by AJ, but the big shock was freaking Becky Lynch turning heel.
So good, so good.
It's
not a shock. I called this for weeks.
I mean, in a way, I felt it too. In a way, like it'll probably happen. It's just one of those things. I'll be real about it, And I thought about going to SummerSlam. I really, really did, because literally Sunday afternoon around 2 p.m., tickets were like low at $65. Up in the nosebleeds, however, like up in the nosebleeds, like.
And that's where we sat last time, right?
Yeah, but at least we sat like in the lower section of the nosebleeds. I'm talking like upper, like way up, right? We're looking at over like literally $65 or so, right? I was like, okay, I just might do it. I'll do it, but then at the last minute,
I will say this: that SummerSlam this year was much better than last year.
Yeah, it was absolutely it was. Yep. Probably better than all 4 years that it's been in Barclays Center. Probably the best one out of all 4 of them that they've done in Barclays Center. Again, it's one man's opinion. It's a couple people's opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Some people liked this. Some people hated it. For some people, it was SummerSlam. But hey, that is around the point. But Becky turning heel on Charlotte. Again, the big shock of the night. Got a big reaction. And people are not confused whether or not, hey, is Becky a heel? But at the same time, she's getting cheered, right? Like you think about it around SmackDown. She cut this promo talking about how you guys weren't behind me the whole time, right? Where was my, give Becky a chance, hashtag on social media? And now it happened. I'll be real about it. I thought the promo itself, I get what it was like her words again were, it came from the heart. I felt that, but I just didn't feel like, okay, she's a heel. You know what I mean? I mean, I felt that way too. Like, okay, I'm just not buying the fact that you're a heel. You're just a frustrated babyface.
Well, that's what I was worried about when she started running during the Charlotte Brawl on SmackDown. Because you're right, it's a gray area.
Yeah,
people are wondering whether she's heel, whether she's face. People were cheering it. Again, I get it. It was in Brooklyn, New York, the Northeast. When you think about it, And Connor, I think you can agree with me as well here. The Northeast, New York, Boston, Jersey, Philadelphia, Maryland, what have you, it's literally the most passionate wrestling region in America. It is, when you think about it, the most passionate region in this country. Nothing against the South or the West Coast or the Midwest.
Well, WWE is a Northeast territory. I mean, if you really want to go, I mean, I know it's global now, but I mean, shit.
And I get that, but when you think about the passionate region in this country, is the Northeast. Hands down, it's the Northeast.
Right.
Right. So again, at Barclays Center, you had an exhausted, tired, smarky crowd, all the hell you want. But at the same time, you think about it, next week they're gonna be in Canada. They're gonna be, as Michael Cole would say, Bizarro World.
Right.
So I guarantee you next week on SmackDown, the cheers will still be the same. People will still be cheering Becky. Because I don't feel like people want to boo her. That's the thing about it. And there was talks of them, I guess, like editing the audio to making it seem like they're booing her or not. I'll be real about it, though. I just felt the brawl was cringe. I felt the brawl
I didn't like the brawl either.
What, on SmackDown?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the women. I just feel like it was the women that they used to break up the whole thing. So you had Naomi, you had Peyton, you had Billie Kay, who moments ago had a match, right? And right there, and there you had them break up the brawl. Even Asuka, who's been missing for weeks, right? You're wondering, where the fuck is Asuka? And Asuka's been relegated to breaking up a fucking brawl.
Yeah, she's in that Finn Balor sort of area right now with the women.
You know what I mean? And again, you know, people are saying now at Evolution, say for Evolution, Becky and Charlotte, which you probably can do. But knowing WWE, because they don't want to be, they're not patient anymore. And again, I just wouldn't put it past them. Think about this, right? They didn't give the people Bayley and Sasha at SummerSlam, which they should have done. You know, I would not be surprised if they do it Hell in a Cell. You know, Charlotte and Becky. Not in the structure, but
no, I think they should.
In the structure?
Yeah. You want my honest feedback? Put both women's matches inside Hell in a Cell. Legit.
Ronda and whoever she's fighting.
Yep. Oh well, I would assume Bliss.
Again.
Oh no. Here's the thing with Ronda, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. I do not see her defending the championship with the likes of a Sasha or an Ember Moon or a Bayley. I don't see it happening. I see her defending it with the likes of a Nikki Bella or a Natty or something like that. Because again, those are so-called big names. And being that it's Ronda, they want to showcase Ronda under that whole like aspect. Hey, she's beating names. Hence why, again, I heard I was listening yesterday to Wrestling Soup. By the way, shout out to Don Tony, shout out to Anthony Visionary Thomas and Joe Numbus. They were saying the idea of, hey, don't be surprised that if at Evolution they end up doing Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey as a headliner. I heard that rumor. I don't know if you heard about that or not.
I did. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I heard it's been pulled now.
I wouldn't even know how they would get to that point after seeing her by her side twice.
Oh no, but again, that's a possibility, man. Because again, when you're Ronda Rousey, you don't want to waste her talents against again. Nothing against these women; they're all talented, they're beautiful, they're talented. But are you gonna waste Ronda's in-ring time with someone like an Ember Moon? No, you're not.
Yeah,
you're not gonna waste your talents with someone.
Bliss makes the most sense. I know you don't want to see it, but
hell no, I do not. If it is again 30 seconds or so or less.
Yeah, it has to be the same thing it was. Even though I wish it was a little bit quicker at SummerSlam, but other than that, that's just a small problem for me.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
But again, I think the idea is, hey, you save Charlotte and Becky for Evolution. That's what I would do again, to be honest with you. But because again, you know, you do think about it too. Carmella is gonna get a rematch this coming Tuesday with Charlotte. Who's to say? Again, anything can happen. Imagine if Becky costs Charlotte the championship.
Wait, say that again.
And again, next to this Tuesday, right? We're getting Carmella and we're getting Charlotte 1-on-1. A rematch for the championship. Carmella been claiming she wants her 1-on-1 match, right? And then the idea would be, imagine if Becky costs Charlotte the championship.
I don't think she would do. I don't think they would do that. I think that'd be a bad call.
Yeah, I think the most that would happen is Becky would just interfere and just keep beating up Charlotte, and then they do a rematch at Hell in a Cell triple threat.
I think they. I don't know about that. Triple threat.
Yeah, again. Or they could just leave it alone. It's weird. This is weird.
It is weird.
Right now, WWE's weird right now. Even that, like, you think about it, right? Again, they want people to boo Becky and what have you, but they're cheering her. We'll see what she does, though. We'll see if she can pull it off. I think she can. I really think she can. But it's just one of those things right now where it's like, you know? And think about this. On Monday Night Raw, you got Roman Reigns and the Shield, right? The Shield's back. So it's like, we wonder...
Yeah, where the F did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, it's like a minute ago, like, you think about it, right? It was Dean Ambrose versus, I think it was Ziggler, right? And Dean wins, and everyone thought, okay, Dean's going to turn on Rollins, right? And do a program for the Intercontinental Championship. And now you literally cancel all that. You literally void all of that by bringing back the Shield.
Yeah. And Dean hasn't even said a word yet.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't even say a word yet. I mean, you got to think about it, too. I mean, I had this idea already in my mind. I mean, you could do the thing, again, if Monday, Roman, because, again, they're going to be in Canada. They're going to be in Canada, I believe, all next week. Unless you really go out of your way on Monday and you have the Shield just go all full heel here, you can have Roman say, hey, listen, where were you guys the whole time? You guys are cheering now, but hey, you guys weren't cheering while facing Brock. Again, it'll be a similar carbon copy to Becky. But
yeah, but his will make sense.
What happened?
His will make sense because they wasn't cheering him.
Exactly. They could boo again. They can milk the whole thing. Yeah, boo all you want now. I have this. This is my yard. This is our. They can pull it off, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. I doubt it too, especially when they announced that hey, Roman is now the top merch seller on WWE. Depending how you want to look at it, right? Depending how the fuck you want to look at it. But apparently, Roman is now the new top merch seller in WWE, surpassing John Cena.
Well, okay, hold on. I heard that a couple of times this week, and I'm like, first off, are you really that surprised? We haven't seen Cena. We haven't seen Cena in like half the year.
I know. I'm not surprised. But at the same time, it's like, put it this way. I went to NXT this week again with a takeover, and they were selling Roman shirts.
At the NXT show?
Yeah, they were selling Roman
merch. I'm not surprised at all.
Not only that, but they were selling also main roster merch.
Yeah, they do that all the time at all the NXT shows.
If it's all roster, then yeah, it was
we'll put it this way: at the Barclays Center, for takeovers, right, for SummerSlam weekend, especially more on takeover on that Saturday, they'll have 2 merch trailers out.
That's
across from each other. One trailer would be all the main roster stuff, and the other trailer would be all the NXT stuff. But for this year, they didn't have the 2 trailers. They only had 1 trailer, which was selling everything in one, but mostly just main roster stuff, if you will. But I'm reading the comments here. It should be Natty Butt. Can't turn her now. Becky gets it all around Survivor Series, and Charlotte wins the Rumble to face Ronda. I'm seeing that too. I see that's happening as well.
I think the money is in Becky versus Charlotte. I think as much as Carmella, in my opinion, is a great heel, I don't think Becky costing Charlotte the title will do anything, because then it's like Carmella is just left in the wind with the championship of all things.
Exactly.
I think it would make more sense if Becky's like, I could have screwed you out of the title. I could have done this. I could have done that. But I wanted you to keep the title because I want to be the one that takes it away from you, not this freaking diva.
Yeah.
Anything can happen right now. Anything can happen. Especially now. We'll see what happens. It's been crazy now. It's been really crazy as well. Apparently, we got even with the Shield now coming in, and now we don't know what the fuck they are, whether they're heel or they're baby faces. I guess Braun Strowman.
They're faces.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
their faces.
Cause you're not gonna turn Braun heel. You're just not gonna do it. You know what I mean?
No, but it's the worst thing to do. Honestly, it was poorly executed in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And I know what you're going to say next, too. And it has to do with, getting a new faction back together.
A new faction?
Old faction.
Oh, the Wyatt family? I mean, oh, hell
Yeah.
no. I didn't hear about that rumor.
That's still going around.
Apparently, now that Eric Rowan is out with an injury, there's talks of them reforming the Wyatt family, especially now with Matt now becoming a producer backstage along with Jason Jordan. I don't know. I mean, how many times have we gone down that route, though?
A lot.
I mean, granted.
Okay,
now,
what else are they gonna do?
Exactly. The thing about it too is like, you think about it too like, what was it 5 years ago or 4 years ago? It was Rowan, Harper, and Bray. Now you're gonna have Braun, right? Because Rowan's out with an injury.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, I would much rather see Harper be used in this capacity than just be part of the Bludgeon Brothers. Let's be real about it. The Bludgeon Brothers really was a bust. It's been a complete failure.
It became a failure when they got the titles.
Yeah. It really did. And granted, they've already done the idea of Shield versus Wyatt family. We've done it before. They've done it already. I mean, unless you do it at Survivor Series, which I think would make sense.
That's far away.
I ain't gonna lie to you, though, at the same time, I would have rather seen Roman, if he's gonna turn heel, come back with his new Shield, that being with not the Bludgeons. Hell no. AOP.
I think they're done too.
I think so too, unfortunately. And go back to what we're saying, sometimes you look at, it's why sometimes it's hard to have any faith in any of these main roster call-ups from NXT. It's really difficult because they're set for failure, which is why, in a way, I was watching Raw and SmackDown wondering, okay, are there going to be any call-ups? You did say, Connor, on our little, like literally a couple days ago, that there were talks of apparently Gargano being backstage during Raw. He didn't even appear, which at the same time it kind of makes sense if you think about it, because hey, the Shield are gonna come back together.
Well, the whole for those of you who didn't know, by the way, like there was obviously so many rumors swirling about this person, that person, this and that. I think like 2/3 of the NXT roster were backstage for Raw and SmackDown because hey, they just had Takeover. Of course they're going to be backstage. Like they're going to be like they always call people in all the time. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to use them, but I've heard that there's still a chance we could see some call-ups like next week.
Hopefully, we'll see. I heard a rumor that in November they're going to do another superstar shakeup in November.
Why?
I hope not. I hope they don't.
Unless you keep it minimum. Unless you keep it minimal and only switch like, I'm not kidding you, top guys and make it like 5-person switch.
Like
that's
Finn
it.
Balor to SmackDown Live.
Yeah, please send him to SmackDown.
Or
He
Rollins,
needs it.
or Seth Rollins to SmackDown Live. And have a few
Send Nakamura to Raw.
Nakamerica? Nakamerica.
Ah.
We'll see. We'll fucking see as well. Speaking of which, let's move into a little bit of Impact Wrestling. Because again, it's gonna be a short show today. The world of Impact Wrestling. Now, we also
They killed a kid. They killed a fucking kid.
Richie! They killed
Dude,
a
I
kid.
saw that clip, man. That's
Dude, what the fuck?
Listen, here's the thing about it. We're not here to hate on Impact. We're not. I think, again, Impact...
No,
they're doing... listen. Because the thing is, the perception is going to be, oh, you guys are hating on it. You're hating on it. Listen, Impact Wrestling... I'll be real about it. I thought this past episode of Impact was there. even though it was supposed to be a go-home show to their free preview, Redefined coming up literally this Thursday.
I kept calling it Redemption in my review.
I heard about my, wait a minute, why are you calling it Redemption? So, my only thing is like, okay, why we're doing this Mexican death match now, knowing you have a free preview coming up the week after? Or you could have done it there, right? But the big highlight of the show was the kid that died, the kid that got ran over by the OG.
What the fuck? It's not so much that, I mean, for me, it's not so much that they did it. It's just like it came so like out, like it just escalated so fucking quickly.
It did. It literally did. And it's like, yo, you just didn't see it. You just didn't see it coming. Anything about it too. I get it. They're trying to be cutting edge, be the alternative. It's one thing to be cutting edge. It's one thing to be different. Another thing is just literally going out of the imagination. Well, let's run over a kid.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't. Again, I get it. You know, to me, honestly, though, the feud should have ended last week. That's what I literally thought. Right? You had literally King just on his knees, begging for Conan to hit him with the freaking with the loaded black sock. Right? And just lay him out. Right? And he ends with Conan saying, "With pleasure, you motherfucker," and it hits him. That should have been it. That literally should have been it, but apparently they're going to continue on with this and continue on with this. And it's like, how many street fights are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's the thing about it. Like, I feel like, and I'll be real about it too, I feel like at times, I feel like they've already peaked. Do you feel that way too? Like, when you watch Impact a little bit, like...
No, I think that they're still in the midst of, like, figuring out who they are, and I think that right now they're hitting a very good stride, like in terms of you know, what they're able to pull off. And I think that for the longest time their biggest problem was just not knowing like what they were. I mean, do I think they'll ever reach the same level of success they did in the past? No, I do not think that. I think they have peaked in some ways, but the smart thing with them is that they have a strategy. I think they have a strategy, and they're sticking to it in terms of like how they're going to you know, lay it all out. And I think that that's really the smarter, like they're not like bull rushing, like, oh, we're gonna make you know, we're gonna make all these money and da, da, da. They're taking their time. The partnerships with indie feds, I think, is smart. Like Twitch utilization is smart. They're looking at it from a business perspective rather than just like, we're gonna go out there and do wrestling stuff and that, you know, and all that stuff. So I'm just saying that they I don't know if I can't say that they've peaked. I can't say that for sure yet, but I think they're doing things the right way. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a longer time, unfortunately.
I hear you on that, and I feel like at the same time, again, they're doing stuff that I do enjoy, and again, I just feel like at times like they're a little bit. Like, I'll be real about it. Like this whole Crazy Eddie, I don't know. I don't know about Crazy Eddie.
But I mean, like, you know, some shit's not going to stick.
It's just not exactly, and I feel like Crazy Eddie to me is just not going to stick.
Yeah, after that match they had with Tommy Dreamer, I didn't.
Yeah, it's like now he wants the world title, and Moose came back, and don't get me wrong, I dig Aries as champion. I dig it. You know, him partnering up with Killer Cross, I think is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that guy. What's his name again?
Killer Cross.
That dude's really good. I like his character.
Yeah, indeed. He's like a freaking silent killer and shit. He's deadly and he just chokes you out.
Sass.
The cross jacket. I'm literally taking sips of this cranberry juice right now. It's freaking amazing right now.
God damn it.
Cranberry. I'm literally halfway through the bottle. I'm halfway right now through this fucking bottle. But we'll see what happens again. Redefine is next week. We're getting the triple threat. Tessa, Allie, and Su Yung. Honestly, they should have done the Mexican death match literally next week, not this episode of it. Because now my question is, what are they going to do with them now? With both Pentagon and Sami Callihan at the show. You're not going to tell me, oh, we're going to do a tag team match between Dave and Jay Christ and the Lucha Bros. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like we've seen it already. We've seen it already, but we'll see. We'll fucking see. I know. P.D. Williams is facing Rich Swann. We're gonna get Phoenix versus Brian Cage. Which, by the way, he spoke yesterday. He spoke for the first time, allegedly. And I was expecting, I don't know about you guys, but I was expecting an in-ring promo. Not a already, like, recorded backstage that had, like, video pack type. I wasn't expecting that.
I mean, I don't mind it.
Yeah, it's fair enough. But I was expecting, like, him in the ring, like, in the ring with Phoenix.
Why? If Phoenix wasn't gonna, I was gonna say, unless Phoenix was gonna do something, why waste your time? That's one thing I really don't understand. Like, unless you're being called out to the ring specifically to be interviewed, it really blows my mind why a lot of interviews go on in the ring.
Oh, no.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Or backstage, or with, I don't know.
But I mean, legit. Like, I don't get that. Like, if it's a indie show where your budget's not that great, yeah, I completely understand that, because you don't have the ability to, like, film stuff, and you don't have a Titantron, you don't have, like, a projector screen to put it up there. That makes total sense to me. But for me, when you have, like, high production value, I don't understand why someone would deliberately go out to the ring to cut a promo and then leave. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you want to address the WWE Universe, bullshit. You can fucking do that with any social media. You do that with Tout, for all I care. You can do that on Twitter, like addressing look how much shit gets leaked. Or I shouldn't say leaked, but look how much shit they announce on social media with, like, Twitter and stuff. Whether it be matches or hell, they just broke, I think, today that Joe and AJ are having a rematch at the pay-per-view on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I don't understand, like, unless they did, like, the way they did AJ Styles promo on SmackDown with Renee Young calling him out the stage. I love that, because it got an old school feel, because, the crowd's behind him and all that stuff. I like that idea, because Renee Young's calling him out to do the interview out there. That at least makes sense to me. But why a wrestler would purposely, like, I'm going to go out to the ring for a little bit and just do my thing. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. It really doesn't, because you can do so much with production and stuff now, and it's becoming more widely accepted. I mean, take a look at, like, what Lucha Underground's doing. Poor little Richie getting run over by a car. The broken Matt Hardy stuff in the Broken Universe, like, all that stuff is so, like, high production value. I mean, granted, you're kind of sacrificing, I guess, quote unquote kayfabe a little bit, but I mean, you can do just as much, if not more, backstage than you can in the ring in front of a live crowd when it comes to promos.
Richie! Come back. I go back to watching La Bamba with the whole Bob when he was screaming out, Richie! At the end of the movie. Listen, if Richie comes back in a couple of weeks, fucking revived and shit, that'll be a miracle. But again, listen, I know there's people that are going to frown on the whole idea of Richie getting run over, a little kid getting run over. I get it. I understand. But at the same time, hey, we've seen more crazier stuff before, I feel like, in wrestling over the years. We've seen a guy getting literally lit up on fire. We saw a failed attempt at hanging, at WrestleMania 15. How terrible that was. We've seen freaking a guy getting his testicles jolted.
Yep.
I wouldn't put it in there. I really would not put it out there. But a couple things before we wrap up the show here. I want to wish a happy birthday to the Don, the greatest promoter of all time, Vince McMahon with the flowers. I believe
the Don.
Today. The Don, yeah, Vinnie Mac. Vincent Kennedy McMahon with the flowers. I believe today he turns 73 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah, 73.
73, bruh. 73 years old.
He looks every bit of it, too.
Nah, bro. Listen,
he doesn't.
Bro, if I live to 73 and look like that, I'd be happy.
Well, yeah, physique-wise, he looks great, but he's 70.
73 years old, man. That says a lot, man. And again, 73 years old, and say what you want about him, but hey, he's the Don. Greatest promoter in the game today. Also, again, I had a fun time. Takeover weekend. Had a fun time. Went to the Bruce Pritchard show. I had a fun time as well there. I was literally in tears, just crying my eyes off. I wasn't even high. I wasn't even high for this shit. I was just in tears. A drunk JBL, entertaining as all hell, rating the entire show. Like if you watch the show, God, I know you watched the show, cause
Yeah.
you can just tell in Bruce's face like he was pissed off. Like, damn, JBL rating my show. Like literally, like yo, JBL got up on stage, started drinking, and then it's like he just took over the show.
So I don't want to spoil too much because I've heard a lot of different things about different shows, and I don't want to spoil the Bruce Pritchard show anymore for anybody else out there. But I'm telling you right now, if you are a fan of the podcast of Something to Wrestle With, or Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, trust me when I say this, because I joined up on his Patreon, no shame, and it's what we're worth every penny, because they not only show you backstage stuff, but they also show you older shows from like last year, like the live shows from last year, and it is a absolute treat. And from the shows that I've seen and from the people what I've heard, it is worth every moment to go. So if you have the opportunity and it's near you, or if you're going to WrestleMania weekend, I cannot encourage you enough to go to the Something to Wrestle With live show.
I think it's a given. Like, yo, we're doing that WrestleMania weekend. We're going to that show WrestleMania weekend.
Unless Paul Heyman's doing a one-man show, I am there.
We'll add it in there. We'll add it in there. But you can just bet your ass, like, yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to do WrestleMania weekend. Like, I've already made it. Like, I put it this way, right? I know a lot of people right now, we're getting close to that date. We're getting close to it. People, if you're going to be going to WrestleMania and all that stuff, you're probably planning out your weekend right now or coming up with the rough draft of what you want to do. I'm just saying it right now. The only WWE stuff that I might do is probably just WrestleMania itself. But I want to go to the Bruce Pritchard show. And if not, Heyman's as well, but you kind of get the idea.
Yep.
We're just adding it in there. We're just adding it in. I did say earlier, hey guys, some idea that you want to see for Neville now that he's gone. And reading the comments here, The Extreme right here, Pac versus Zack Sabre Jr. Sam Cat right here, Pac versus Naito. The Extreme, if he resigns, I guess that's if Neville resigns with WWE. Neville versus Pete Dunne. Well, to my understanding,
they can still do that.
They can still do that. Yeah, the guys that are signed to WWE UK, they can still, go out of their way and wrestle on the indie circuit. Which, by the way, Pete Dunne, low key guy. When you think about it, Pete Dunne right now. When you guys think of, I put this on Instagram. Low key, literally no one even knows this shit. But Pete Dunne right now, Pete Dunne has probably one of the longest WWE title runs in the company right now. He's been the UK champion now for over 450 days as the UK champion. When you think about it. And again, under the radar, I will talk about Brock and Brock not doing this. Meanwhile, Pete Dunne's been tearing it up and having this long-ass title run. Good for him. Pac versus Tala. I guess he's trying to say Tanahashi. Okay. Okay. As long as people don't say freaking Pete Dunne versus Switchblade J-Wick, it's not a match I want to see. No Switchblade for me. Great show. Steven, since Steven's a chef, can he see why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Who doesn't love Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
So good.
I ain't gonna lie, my favorite cereal, Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks right now for me is the best cereal of all time.
Cocoa Puffs.
Cocoa Puffs. What about you, Big Mike?
Fruity Pebbles.
Okay. I'm more of a Cocoa Puffs, but okay. Honorable mention, I'll say this, French Toast Crunch. That's an honorable mention.
Who doesn't love French toast?
Not about the crunch, though. French Toast Crunch.
Who doesn't love it? But anyway.
A cereal that I do not like is, freaking, what's the frog cereal with the frog on it?
What that?
Smack'ems?
Smack'ems,
yeah.
Smack'ems, no, hell no.
Honey Smacks.
Honey Smacks.
There you go.
Honey Smacks, the only cereal promoting domestic violence.
Honey Smacks, what else you got there? Cheerios. I'll do Honey Nut Cheerios, but I will not do Cheerios.
Oh, Cheerios is a whore.
Cheerios.
Well, you gotta doctor up regular Cheerios.
But look at Oreos. How many flavors have they hoard out for Oreos? I feel like Cheerios are the same thing.
Remember, Connor? Remember in Dallas we ate for the first time the strawberry shortcake Oreos.
Those weren't bad.
They were not bad. You know what's funny? I did not find them anywhere else after that.
Nope. No, because they were limited time.
Like, what a shame, yo. And yet they have now like soda flavored. They got cola root beer flavored, and shit like that. I'm like, come on, really?
You know, to
Waffles
be
or
honest, I'm a waffle guy.
waffle guy.
Waffle.
Waffle. Belgian waffle.
Waffle.
Chicken and waffles. Oh man, chicken and waffles.
That's a potato chip flavor.
I know.
It is.
Welcome to America.
French toast, now waffles twice. Okay.
Yeah, amen, Dynasty. Amen to that.
Corbin writes here. That's wonderful, Steven, but that's not what I asked. Can you see why kids like them? Because I've been trying to find out for decades and I failed. Well,
I love Corbin.
I love Corbin too. I bless Corbin. Bless Corbin. First ballot Team Hill Podcast Hall of Fame, real for real. Michael Corbin. Put him in there. Help me, Chef Heel. You're my only hope. Okay. Let's see here. Cinnamon toast. When you think about this, right? Every kid loves cereal, right? And the idea of French toast that's cinnamon, right? And cinnamon is a very, very sweet. It's sweet on the palate, right? So when you're biting into this, the idea of milk, and a lot of kids, what they do, they'll add sugar into the milk. Nowadays, because I'm doing the paleo diet, I've been doing a lot of almond breeze milk, almond milk flavored. So it's already sweet. And the idea, you put the cinnamon toast crunch in there, you got that cinnamon, it has that cinnamon flavor in the palate. Do you feel again that crunchiness of what's supposed to be the French toast? And at the very end, as it's about to go down, you feel the power of the cinnamon in the palate. And that's why I feel a lot of kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And not for mention, sometime when you buy Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I don't know if cereal brands do this nowadays, but back in the day, they'll have prizes inside the box, a prize. So, there you go with that.
Yeah, I missed that day. Or you had to send in the box tops to get the good
box
stuff.
Top. And a lot, and at times too, like now they're in back to school time. Teachers again do they still do that? Do they still collect box tops?
I don't think so.
I think they stopped doing that when I was a kid.
I remember back in the day, like my teacher would go out of my way, like Steven, bring in box top. Like, what the fuck is that shit? My parents didn't know what the fuck that was. Like, what the fuck is box tops? Like, why are you cutting this part of the cereal box? Like, because they want it in school. It's all in how after the milk is. Yeah, that's too. That too. I mean, if you have like Cocoa Pebbles or Cocoa Puffs or what's the other cereal? Cookie Crisp. You get that chocolatey milk, if you will.
Man, I miss Cookie Crisp.
Oh man, that was the shit back in the day. See what I do,
They
right?
still sell it.
So let me tell you this. So what I do when I'm high is all shit, right? This is what I do. Well, I'm not doing it no more because I'm getting this drug test, right? But I grab like a giant.
So you might not want to talk about this on the air.
I don't give a fuck. Okay. So what you do is, right, this is the Heel Steven high me cereal, the high cereal, right? So you grab a giant mixing bowl, right? A mixing bowl, right? You pour Apple Jacks. You grab your milk, right? You grab a little bit of sugar, right? Grab maybe 3 scoops of sugar, 2 scoops, whatever, right? And then you mix it in, you shake it in, and to top it all off, you grab 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream.
Wait.
Milk and vanilla ice cream?
Yes.
For breakfast?
When you're just high as all, not when you're just high, like that munchy food, like munchy.
That's gotta be weird.
Hey man, when you're rocking, even the stuff that's weird just tastes amazing. Like I swear to God, if I ever come up with a cookbook, I'm calling it High Meals. The high palate.
I'm trying to piece this together. So
yeah, I stopped trying.
Okay.
I understand the dry cereal on the ice cream, but
okay. So you grab your mixing bowl. Okay. You grab your mixing bowl, or if not, your regular bowl of cereal. You pour in your cereal. Okay, the cereal of your desire.
By the way, you're already doing way too much work for me for my breakfast like preparation.
Okay, in my case, it's Apple Jacks. Okay, in my case, Apple Jacks. Pour in the Apple Jacks first, then the cereal, then the milk. That's how it goes. Cereal first, then the milk. All right, I'm sorry, kids. That's how it is. and then you grab your scoops of sugar, all right, and then you top in 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream.
Okay.
The high
Jesus.
cereal. Yeah,
I would not take
Why are
that.
you high that early in the morning?
Hey, man. Wake and bake. Hey, man. Happens. Wake and bake. But that's
Okay,
now,
then.
again, for all my healthy folks out there, for my healthy folks that are into the whole, organic and paleo and keto diet and stuff like that, here's what you do. You grab your Kashi cereal, right? You grab your almond breeze or your organic milk, right? And then you cut up some bananas, some strawberries, some apples, and you pour it in there. Amazing as well. There you go. There's a healthy version, and then there's the high as fuck junk food version of it.
Apparently.
Exactly. This was fun, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Connor, thank you for coming in. You are awesome as always. Again, you're literally everywhere. You are literally everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you right now, you are probably under my girlfriend's bed right now. Live from underneath my girlfriend's bed. As we speak right now. It's red panty night, as you can tell.
Ew.
As you can tell, it's red panty night. But, Connor, again, you're everywhere. iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, Fight TV, YouTube still. Again,
Yep.
I'm calling you now, bro. You are going to be on Telemundo real soon. Telemundo's going to hit him up.
Well, we'll see how that goes out. But no, right now, I mean, the biggest things that I'm working on, I'm actually revamping my Raw and SmackDown reviews that I'll do live after the shows. I'm constantly working, and I was kind of talking to Mike about this before. I'm always trying new things and trying out what works and what doesn't work, because I've been at this game, just as long as you, Steven, and you have to change things up sometimes. So the Fight TV stuff, though, I'm really happy with the way it is now. I'm very happy with the way that, the show, I think, is formatted. So if you guys like it, just go to fight.tv and check out the OKFabe show. You can just type in my name, OKFabe. It should pop up as the channel description. There's 6 episodes, but I highly recommend check out episode 6 that just dropped today. I don't usually say I like my own stuff, but I think this is the best one that I've done so far.
Exactly. Go check it out. Again, you can follow the Team Up Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, Spotify. You can follow us on Twitter at Team Heel Podcast as well. We have merch as well. Merch, as always, over at Teespring. We have 2 shirts up on the store. We have the Certified Mother Flower shirt, and as well as the Team Heel Podcast shirt. All designed, even the logo, all done by the awesome one, that crazy mother flower named Salrex. If you are a YouTuber or a podcaster and you want awesome layouts and overlays done for your podcast, your YouTube channel, hit him up on Twitter at official Salrex. He's done not just stuff for me, but for OKFabe. Connor, I said this numerous times. You probably right now have the best podcast logo right now with the Random Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I mean, Salrex, that's all Salrex. That's all him.
He's done work for him, obviously for you, also for Big Mike, JD from NY206, the Solid Monster, and as well as the No Holds Bar Wrestling Podcast as well. So again, guys, show him some love. Hit him up. Let him know you want awesome layouts and logos and overlays and stuff like that. But again, he's also responsible for the 2 designs up on our store right now. Head over to teespring.com/store/teamheel/podcast/3. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven, where I tweet about all these shows, Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT, Impact, pay-per-views, and above all else with all you crazy, sick, twisted mother flowers out there. If you're on this channel right now, hit that sub button down below. Give this stream/video a big old thumbs up. And also, if you want to help out the podcast in the long run, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Stitcher, and all those other platforms as well. Big Mike, where can they find you at, my homie?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Big Mike 199519 and on YouTube at Big Mike's Wrestling Recap Show.
Connor, like I said before, bro, you're literally everywhere, man. Where can they find you at, though, again, bro? Where can they find you at? The one, the only, the OKFabe.
The best places to find me are 3 or 4 different locations primarily. You can, of course, find me on all major podcasting platforms. Of course, I am on YouTube, youtube.com/OKFaber. I'm live at least 3 times a week. Of course, you hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/OKFaber, where I'm actually posting a lot more stuff over there. The Fight TV app for the OK Fabe Show at fight.tv. Just Google or just search in the Fight TV app, the OK Fabe Show. And then, of course, last but not least, Twitter at OKFabe.
And we are out like Janice Titties. I'm Heel Steven. He's okay, Fabe. Big Mike as well. We're out. We'll be back next week for more. This was the Team Meal Podcast. Peace out, mother flowers.